Have you ever held that first cup of coffee in the morning, feeling the warmth seep into your hands, and thought to yourself, this is one of life's simple pleasures? That rich aroma filling the kitchen. For many of us, it's a comforting ritual we've cherished for decades. It's the signal that a new day has begun. We all believe it's a harmless, even healthy, part of our routine, don't we? But what if I told you that this simple daily comfort might be the very thing silently stealing your vitality? As a doctor who has sat with hundreds of patients over the age of 60 for more than 30 years, I've seen a heartbreaking pattern that most people, and even many doctors, overlook. That trusted morning habit could be quietly damaging your heart and fogging your mind. I'm not talking about theories from a textbook. I'm talking about real people. I'll never forget a wonderful 78-year-old lady named Eleanor. She was a retired librarian, sharp as a tack, who loved her independence. But over a year, her family watched as she became forgetful, confused, and her cholesterol numbers shot up for no apparent reason. They chalked it up to her just getting older. But I had a hunch it was something simpler, something she was doing every single morning without a second thought. It was the healthy decaf coffee she drank every day. Eleanor's story is why I knew I had to make this video. The truth is, there are 4 common types of coffee sitting on your grocery store shelves right now that can be particularly harmful for anyone over 60. In this video, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to arm you. We're going to expose those 4 worst coffees, one by one. And then, more importantly, I'm going to give you 4 wonderful healing alternatives that can actually protect your brain, strengthen your body, and give you peace of mind. And I urge you, please, stay with me until the very end. Because the number 1 worst coffee I'll reveal is the one many people believe is the healthiest. It's a natural coffee, but the science is clear. It's directly linked to a shocking increase in your risk of fatal cardiovascular disease. The information I'm about to share in that final section could genuinely save a life. Perhaps even your own. Before we dive in, I'm genuinely curious. If the idea of protecting your health and staying sharp for the years to come is important to you, if that's something you think about, please take a moment to comment a simple yes below. It helps me understand that I'm speaking to people who care, and it shows others in our community that they are not alone in this journey. Okay, let's uncover the first hidden danger. Part 1. The 4 worst coffees silently harming seniors. Alright, let's start with our number 4 worst coffee for seniors. This one is deceptive because it promises convenience and delicious flavor, but what it delivers is something far more sinister. I'm talking about flavored instant coffee mixes. You know the ones I mean. They come in those little packets, promising French vanilla or hazelnut cream in just seconds. They smell wonderful, and on a busy morning, they seem like a perfect, harmless shortcut. But in my 30 years of practice, I've seen the damage these seemingly innocent packets can do. Here's the truth those glossy packages don't tell you. To create those flavors that don't taste artificial, companies use a cocktail of chemicals. One of the most common is a substance called propylene glycol. Now, that's a mouthful, but think of it this way. It's a chemical cousin to antifreeze. Its job is to keep the flavor oils from separating, but for an older body, it's a burden. Your kidneys, which naturally work a bit slower after 60, have to filter this out. Over time, daily exposure can put a strain on them that they simply weren't designed to handle. But it gets worse. To give these mixes a creamy texture without using real cream, many brands use hydrogenated oils, which are just a fancy name for trans fats. These are the worst possible fats for your heart. Imagine pouring thick sludge down a clean pipe. That's what these fats do to your arteries. They raise your bad LDL cholesterol and directly contribute to the plaque buildup that leads to heart attacks and strokes. You're essentially drinking a cup full of chemicals designed to clog your system. I remember a patient of mine, a wonderful gentleman named David. He was a retired carpenter, a man who had worked with his hands his whole life and prided himself on being tough. He came to me, completely baffled. At 72, his blood sugar levels were all over the place. He'd eat a sensible breakfast of oatmeal and fruit, but by 10 a.m., he'd feel shaky, irritable, and his energy would completely crash. He was doing everything right, yet his body felt out of control. We went through his entire diet, and everything looked good. But then I asked him, "David, what do you drink in the morning?" He said, "Doc, just 1 cup of coffee." The French vanilla kind, from one of those little packets. It's quick, and my wife loves the smell. A light bulb went off in my head. Inside that packet, hidden behind the delightful aroma, were corn syrup solids and artificial sweeteners that were sending his blood sugar on a roller coaster every single morning. The convenience was secretly sabotaging his health. We made one simple change. We threw out the instant packets. Instead, I told him to brew a simple cup of regular coffee and add just a quarter teaspoon of pure vanilla extract and a sprinkle of cinnamon. The cost was pennies, and it took maybe 2 extra minutes. 2 weeks later, David came back to my office with a grin on his face. His energy was stable all morning. He wasn't shaky anymore. He felt like himself again. The solution wasn't a powerful new drug. It was simply removing the hidden chemicals and replacing them with something real. So if you have these packets in your pantry, I want you to think of them not as coffee, but as chemical delivery systems. Your health is worth far more than the 30 seconds they save you. Now, let's move on to the number 3 worst coffee, and this one is an absolute wolf in sheep's clothing. It sits in millions of refrigerators across America, used by people who believe they're making a healthier choice. I'm talking about artificial non-dairy creamers. For so many people, especially if you can't handle milk, these creamers seem like a gift. They promise that rich, creamy taste without the dairy. But I'm here to tell you, what's inside that plastic bottle could be doing more harm to your joints and your brain than you could ever imagine. Let's look at the ingredient list. First, you'll often see titanium dioxide. This is a chemical whitener. Its only purpose is to make the liquid look like real cream. The problem? It's the same industrial chemical used to make paint and sunscreen white. Studies have shown that when ingested, it can cause something called oxidative stress. Think of it as creating tiny flecks of rust inside your body's cells, which accelerates the aging process and causes inflammation. Speaking of inflammation, the main ingredients in most of these creamers are highly processed vegetable oils, like soybean or palm oil, that are high in inflammatory omega-6 fats. Now, we need some omega-6, but our modern diets are flooded with it. When you pour this into your coffee every day, you're essentially fueling a slow-burning fire inside your body. If you have stiff knees, aching hips, or swollen ankles, this daily dose of inflammation could be a major contributor to your pain. In my practice, I see so many patients, particularly women in their late 60s and 70s, who struggle with chronic joint pain. They accept it as a normal part of aging. I had a patient, Margaret, a sweet grandmother who loved to garden but had to give it up because her knees ached so terribly. She told me, "Getting out of bed in the morning is the hardest part. My knees are just so stiff." She was a classic case. She couldn't tolerate dairy, so for years, her morning ritual included a generous pour of a popular French vanilla non-dairy creamer into her coffee. She thought it was harmless. I explained to her how those hidden oils were likely contributing to the inflammation in her joints. She was skeptical, but she trusted me enough to try an experiment. I didn't put her on a fancy diet. I just asked her to make one change. Swap her artificial creamer for a splash of unsweetened almond milk or oat milk, which are naturally anti-inflammatory. It felt like a small, insignificant change to her. But about a month later, she came back for a follow-up. She walked into my office with tears in her eyes. "Doctor," she said, "I was able to spend an hour in my garden last weekend. I haven't done that in years." We hadn't cured her arthritis, but by removing that daily trigger of inflammation, we had given her back a piece of her life. So please, look in your refrigerator. If you have one of these artificial creamers, recognize it for what it is, a bottle of inflammation. A simple switch to unsweetened almond milk, oat milk, or even a splash of real, organic whole milk can make a world of difference for your joints, your heart, and your overall health. It's a simple act of kindness to your body. So, we've cleared out the hidden dangers that might be lurking in your coffee mug. Now comes the most important part, building your body back up. It's not just about avoiding harm. It's about actively choosing things that heal and strengthen you from the inside out. This brings me to some incredibly powerful, yet simple, additions to your daily routine, starting with our best milk number 2, kefir, which I call the gut rebuilder. Now, you may have seen kefir in the dairy aisle next to the yogurt. Think of it as a drinkable yogurt, but supercharged. For seniors, I consider it one of the most important foods you can consume for your overall health, and the reason is simple. It rebuilds your gut. As a doctor, I can tell you that so many health issues we face after 60, from poor digestion and bloating to a weak immune system and even low mood, can be traced back to the health of our gut. As we age, the population of friendly bacteria in our digestive system naturally declines. Think of it as a thriving, bustling city that slowly becomes quiet and less effective. When this happens, you don't absorb nutrients as well, you feel gassy and uncomfortable, and you become more susceptible to every cold and flu that comes along. Kefir is the ultimate reinforcement. It is packed with a wide variety of probiotics, far more than yogurt. These are the good bugs your gut is crying out for. Drinking kefir is like sending in a fresh, vibrant, well-trained army to restore order in that city. They push out the bad bacteria, help your body break down food properly, and a staggering 70% of your immune system is located in your gut, so by repopulating it, you are directly strengthening your body's primary defense shield. I had a patient, a lovely woman named Susan, who was 75. She came to me feeling utterly frustrated. "Doctor," she said, "I feel bloated no matter what I eat. I'm tired all the time, and it seems like I catch every single bug my grandkids bring home." She had accepted this as her new normal. Her pantry was full of antacids and digestive aids that offered only temporary relief. I asked her to try one simple experiment. Every morning, before anything else, I wanted her to drink just a small, 4-ounce glass of plain, unsweetened kefir. She was hesitant, but she agreed. 3 weeks later, she sat in my office with a completely different energy. "The bloating is gone," she told me, amazed. "I feel lighter after I eat. And you know what? My son's whole family came down with a nasty cold last week, and for the first time in years, I didn't catch it." By simply rebuilding her gut, she had rebuilt her body's resilience. If you want to try kefir, start slow. A small juice glass, about 4 ounces, is perfect. Always choose the plain, unsweetened kind, as the flavored versions are often loaded with the very sugars that feed the bad bacteria you're trying to fight. You can drink it straight, or if the tangy taste is too much at first, blend it into a smoothie with a few berries. It is a simple, daily act of internal housekeeping for your body. And that brings us to our number 1 best milk. This one is so critical because it addresses 2 of the biggest concerns I hear from my patients every single day: the digestive discomfort many get from regular milk, and the desperate need to protect our bones as we age. This is why I call best milk number 1, A2 whole milk, the true bone builder. For decades, we've been told to drink milk for strong bones. But for so many of you, that advice comes with a painful price: bloating, gas, and stomach upset. Many assume it's lactose intolerance, but for a huge number of people, the real culprit is something else entirely. Here is the simple truth: not all milk is the same. Originally, thousands of years ago, all cows produced milk containing only a gentle, easy-to-digest protein called A2. But due to a natural genetic mutation that happened centuries ago in European dairy herds, most of the cows in America today produce milk that contains a different protein, called A1. Here's why that matters. When your body digests that A1 protein, it can break down into a peptide fragment that, for many people, acts as an irritant. It can cause inflammation in the gut, leading to the exact symptoms: the bloating, cramping, and discomfort that people blame on lactose. A2 milk, on the other hand, comes from cows that are specially selected because they naturally only produce the gentle A2 protein. It's the milk that our grandparents and great-grandparents drank. It allows your body to get all the incredible, bone-building calcium, vitamin D, and potassium without the inflammatory side effects of the A1 protein. This brings me back to my patient, Frank. If you recall, Frank was a 76-year-old retired mailman who was deeply worried. His latest bone density scan showed that his bones were thinning at an alarming rate, a condition called osteopenia. I told him he needed more high-quality calcium, and the best source is dairy. His face fell. "Doc, I can't," he said. "Every time I drink a glass of milk, I'm bloated and miserable for the rest of the day." He was in a classic catch, 22. The very thing he needed to protect himself from a life-altering fracture was the thing that made him feel sick. This was the answer for Frank. I explained the A1-A2 protein difference, and I had him switch to A2 whole milk. He was skeptical, but he was also desperate. The change was nothing short of miraculous for him. Within 2 days, he realized all the bloating and discomfort had vanished. He was finally able to drink a glass of milk every day and enjoy it. He was giving his bones the first-class building materials they were crying out for. At his 1-year follow-up, his doctor was stunned. His bone density had not only stopped declining, but it had actually shown a slight, measurable improvement. Frank calls it his miracle milk. It wasn't a miracle. It was just the right kind of milk his body was designed for all along. The next time you are in the grocery store, look for the carton that explicitly says, "Et2 milk" on the label. Yes, it often costs $1 more than regular milk, but I want you to reframe that cost. It is a small investment in your future independence, in your gut comfort, and in the strength of the very frame that carries you through life. For bone health, always choose whole milk, as the healthy fats are essential for helping your body absorb that all-important vitamin D. Part 2. The 4 best coffees to heal and protect your body. Alright, we have navigated through the minefield. We've exposed the hidden dangers that might be lurking in your daily cup. But as I promised, this isn't about taking away your beloved coffee ritual. It's about transforming it. It's about turning that simple morning pleasure into one of the most powerful acts of self-care you can perform each day. So, let's flip the script. Instead of focusing on what to avoid, let's explore the 4 wonderful, healing coffees that every person over 60 should consider making a part of their life. We'll start with the foundation, the cornerstone of a healthy coffee habit. This is best coffee number 4, organic, medium roast arabica. It sounds simple, almost too simple to be revolutionary, but in my experience, returning to this pure, clean foundation is the most important first step you can take. Here's why these 3 words, organic, medium roast, and arabica, are so important. First, arabica beans naturally have lower acidity than their cousin, robusta beans, making them gentler on your stomach lining. More importantly, they are packed with a powerful antioxidant called chlorogenic acid. Think of this antioxidant as a little firefighter inside your body that helps to calm the silent fire of inflammation. It also plays a crucial role in helping your body manage blood sugar, preventing those energy spikes and crashes that can leave you feeling drained. Next, medium roast is the sweet spot. A light roast can be too acidic for some, while a very dark, burnt roast actually destroys many of those delicate, beneficial antioxidants. A medium roast preserves the good stuff while creating a smooth, balanced flavor that doesn't require a lot of cream or sugar to be enjoyable. Finally, choosing organic is your insurance policy. It ensures the beans were grown without the synthetic pesticides and herbicides that can put an unnecessary toxic burden on your liver and kidneys. Often, the most profound changes come from the simplest swaps. I tell my patients who feel overwhelmed by health advice to just start here. Don't worry about fancy supplements or complicated recipes yet. The easiest way to begin is right here. Just change the bag of coffee you buy. So many of my patients, after making this one small change, come back and tell me things like, "Doc, I don't get that sour stomach feeling anymore," or "My energy feels more stable through the morning." It's not a dramatic, overnight miracle. It's a quiet, consistent benefit. It's the feeling of giving your body something clean and pure day after day. One small change, one big reward. That is the first step toward turning your coffee from a potential problem into a powerful ally. Now, let's move on to a fantastic option for anyone who has a particularly sensitive stomach, or for those who simply want a smoother, richer coffee experience. This is best coffee number 3, cold brew concentrate. Cold brew has become quite popular in cafes, but I don't see it as a trend. For seniors, I see it as a brilliant, gut-friendly solution that can bring the joy of coffee back to those who thought they had to give it up forever. The magic of cold brew is all in the process. Instead of shocking the coffee grounds with scalding hot water, which rapidly extracts acids and bitter compounds, cold brew is made by gently steeping coarse grounds in cold, filtered water for 12 to 24 hours. This slow, patient extraction method creates a coffee concentrate that is up to 70% less acidic than traditional hot brewed coffee. For anyone who struggles with acid reflux, heartburn, or indigestion after a cup of coffee, this can be a complete game changer. The lower acidity means it's incredibly gentle on your stomach and your esophagus. It allows you to enjoy the flavor and the mild caffeine lift without the painful consequences. Furthermore, this gentle process preserves more of the delicate antioxidants that are often destroyed by high heat, so you're getting a smoother, sweeter, and more nutritionally potent cup. I've had so many patients over the years who have sadly told me, I had to break up with coffee. They were people who truly loved the ritual and the flavor, but the heartburn and stomach pain simply became too much to bear. I remember one gentleman, a retired teacher named Arthur, who said his mornings felt empty without that familiar cup. He had tried every antacid on the market to no avail. I introduced him to the idea of cold brew. He made a batch at home, steeping it in a simple glass jar in his refrigerator overnight. The next time I saw him, he had a twinkle in his eye. "You gave me my mornings back, doctor," he said. He could finally enjoy a cup of coffee again, completely free of pain and discomfort. For Arthur, and for so many others like him, cold brew wasn't just a different way of making coffee. It was a ticket back to one of their favorite parts of the day. It is a perfect example of how a small change in preparation can lead to a huge improvement in your quality of life. Now we move into the realm where coffee transforms from a simple beverage into a powerful, functional tool for rebuilding your body. This brings us to best coffee number 2. Coffee with collagen peptides. Imagine starting your morning with a cup of coffee that not only wakes up your mind, but also actively works to soothe your aching joints, strengthen your bones, and even help firm up your skin. It sounds almost too good to be true, but this is exactly what happens when you make this simple addition to your morning cup. Let me explain it in the simplest terms. Collagen is the most abundant protein in your body. Think of it as the glue or the scaffolding that holds everything together. Your skin, your joints, your bones, your muscles. The problem is, after about age 50, our body's natural production of this vital scaffolding starts to decline year after year. This is why our joints start to ache and click, why our skin loses its firmness, and why we become more prone to injury. We are losing our structural glue. When you stir a scoop of hydrolyzed collagen peptides into your coffee, you are essentially giving your body the exact raw materials it needs to go in and repair that aging scaffolding. The warm liquid of the coffee actually helps the collagen dissolve and can improve circulation, delivering those vital amino acids directly to the places that need them most, like the cartilage in your knees and the connective tissues in your hips. It is a direct deposit of repair materials into your body's construction fund. Storytelling. I have a patient, a wonderful woman named Barbara, who is a passionate gardener in her early 70s. She came to me because the constant aching in her knees was stealing her joy. Getting down on the ground to tend to her roses had become an ordeal of pain, and she was afraid she'd have to give up her beloved hobby. We started her on a simple regimen: 1 scoop of unflavored collagen peptides in her coffee every single morning. She was consistent. About 2 months later, she came into my office, and her face was just beaming. She told me, "Doctor, I call it my joint juice now." She explained that the deep, persistent ache had subsided to a dull, manageable whisper. She was able to spend hours in her garden again, moving with a freedom she thought she had lost forever. For Barbara, that morning scoop wasn't just a supplement. It was the key that unlocked the gate back to her passion. It gave her the confidence to move without fear. When you buy collagen, look for the words hydrolyzed or peptides, as this means it's broken down for the best absorption. Always choose an unflavored version so it won't change the taste of your coffee. It dissolves instantly, and it is a simple, powerful way to tell your body, let's rebuild today. And now, we arrive at the number 1 best coffee. If there is one single upgrade you can make to your morning cup that will have the most profound impact on your brain health, your energy levels, and your overall vitality, this is it. I call best coffee number 1. Coffee with MCT oil and Ceylon cinnamon. This combination isn't just about making your coffee taste good. It's about turning your morning cup into high-performance brain fuel, specifically designed to combat the mental fog and energy slumps that can become so common as we age. Let's start with MCT oil. MCT stands for medium-chain triglycerides, which are a special type of healthy fat, usually derived from coconuts. Unlike other fats, MCTs are unique. Your body doesn't store them. Instead, they are sent straight to your liver and rapidly converted into an amazing source of energy called ketones. Here is why this is so critical for anyone over 60. As we get older, our brain's ability to use its main fuel source, glucose or sugar, can become less efficient. This inefficiency is a major reason for that feeling of brain fog, slower recall, and afternoon energy crashes. Ketones are the solution. They are a backup generator for your brain. They can cross the blood-brain barrier and deliver clean, stable energy directly to your brain cells, bypassing the faulty glucose system. It's like giving your brain a fresh, fully charged battery to start the day. We then pair this with Ceylon cinnamon. It's important you look for Ceylon, sometimes called true cinnamon, because the common cassia cinnamon found in most stores can be harmful to the liver in large amounts. Ceylon cinnamon is a powerhouse. It helps your body become more sensitive to insulin, which means it helps stabilize your blood sugar. No more roller coaster of energy. It simply keeps you on a smooth, even keel. This isn't just something I recommend to my patients. This is something I personally do every single morning. I recommend it to anyone who wants to stay sharp, focused, and mentally agile well into their 70s, 80s, and beyond. The feedback I receive is remarkably consistent. Patients tell me that within about 30 minutes of drinking this coffee, they feel a sense of clear, calm focus that they haven't felt in years. It's not the jittery, anxious energy of too much caffeine. It's a steady, reliable mental clarity that lasts for hours. They report being able to focus on tasks, remember details, and feel more present in conversations. It makes a visible, tangible difference in their ability to engage with the world around them. Making it is simple. Brew your favorite clean, organic coffee. While it's hot, add 1 teaspoon of MCT oil and a half teaspoon of ground Ceylon cinnamon. If you have a small blender, blending it for 20 seconds will create a beautiful, frothy, latte-like texture. But you can also just stir it vigorously. Drink this on an empty stomach first thing in the morning to maximize the brain-boosting ketone production. This single cup is a declaration that you are prioritizing your brain health, fueling your focus, and investing in your cognitive future, one delicious sip at a time. As we come to the end of our time together, I want to bring you back to where we started. Remember Eleanor, the wonderful 78-year-old librarian who was lost in a fog of confusion, whose family feared the worst. Her story wasn't about a complex, untreatable disease. Her story was about her coffee. The culprit that was stealing her clarity was the chemical solvent, methylene chloride, hiding in the cheap decaf she drank every single morning. Today, Eleanor is thriving. She's back to her Sunday crosswords, her mind is as sharp as ever, and her family has their bright, witty mother and grandmother back. Her story is a powerful reminder that sometimes the biggest changes in our health and happiness don't come from a prescription bottle, but from a simple choice we make in our own kitchen. And that is the one truth I hope you take away today. Your morning cup of coffee is never just a neutral act. It is either working for you or it is working against you. It can be a source of silent, daily inflammation that wears your body down, or it can be a powerful healing tool that rebuilds your joints, sharpens your mind, and protects your heart. The choice, and the incredible power that comes with it, is entirely in your hands. As we wrap up, we've explored the hidden dangers and the healing potential within your coffee cup. But knowledge is only powerful when we put it into action. So now, I have one important question for you. What is the one commitment you are making to yourself after watching this video? It could be as simple as, I will look for Swiss water processed decaf, or I will try adding cinnamon to my coffee tomorrow morning, or even, I will switch from a French press to a drip maker. Please share your personal commitment in the comments below. Reading your commitments inspires me, and it will inspire every single person in this community to take that first brave step alongside you. And if you found real value and encouragement in our time together today, please show your support by giving this video a like. To ensure you continue on this journey with us and never miss another video full of these practical, life-changing strategies, hit that subscribe button. It's more than just subscribing. It's joining a community of people dedicated to living their golden years with strength, clarity, and confidence together. Finally, think of one person, a friend, a sibling, a loved one, who needs to hear this message today, and please share it with them. That simple act of sharing might just change the course of their health. Thank you for trusting me with your time. Stay healthy, stay wise, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.